Hey yo, what's up? So, first of all, do not believe what is depicted in media. I like quiet and peaceful things, you know? I don't think people understand, but I was raised essentially in a home that is like a sanctuary, and I was raised going to church like literally 6 times a week, and I spent a lot of my time in the library. Quiet places where you can reflect. I'm extremely introverted and I mind my own business, unlike most people. So I don't see why I always need to address this so many times that you see it in multiple places. But I am African American and German. That is why my skin is white, but you always see me with black people because my house was in what? A ghetto, okay? Now, not too many of you actually knows what comes with that, because you look at the TV and get an idea about us from rap videos that is probably largely inaccurate, okay? Personally, okay, how I was raised, if someone does something, well, I gotta quiet down. There's this one Ryan throwing a bike. Ella. Look at her having fun. So, okay, it's nice to see people who can live good lives and be carefree and do stuff like ride the bike, you know what I'm saying? But my life ain't nothing like that. So, where was I? So, how I was raised, not by my mother or the church, but the environment, is that when someone does something wrong to you, you have to retaliate many times over, or you will come to be crushed, okay? Crushed completely. So that brings me to a dilemma where I feel like the entire component system of the United States is against me due to the nature of how I pursued entrepreneurship, okay? Nothing was given to me, okay? For every dollar I've had, I actually had to fight for it. And many of you may interpret that in many different ways. So maybe I should be literal. I mean, I literally had to fight for it completely in every way, from jobs, the streets, the military, being a security guard, being a correctional officer. And every time I see myself covered by a news channel or depicted somewhere, it's depicting me like I'm crazy and stupid. But they cut most things out of context and they upload it with no context and have me looking crazy. I'm not crazy, okay? At all. And maybe that makes me crazy because I'm not crazy at all and I don't interpret myself as being such. But I can remember when I worked security, it was in my mind that I had to protect everything within my domain with my life. So I would wonder why I was only getting paid $9 an hour. You know, I've been a security guard at the food stamp office, ice cream factories, freaking the hospital. Man, I was covering like 12 different sites. Usually at a job, I'm the most dependable employee. I come in every day. I show up regardless of whether I'm feeling bad or not. You know, I do what's asked of me and I do it to the best of my ability. but they don't understand how much stress I'm going through and how much I hate being part of the system. But I remember one really bad Christmas where I had to guard Yankee Candle at the mall at night. And I don't understand why. Because why would you need a security guard in a shop in the mall at night as if someone would break in there? I think you'd have to be on some pretty wild stuff if you broke into the mall. But I remember thinking to myself, like, yo, I miss every holiday. I'm at work every holiday. I can't spend time with anyone I want to, including myself. And I remember I watched a Final Fantasy movie while I was alone in that candle store. And the only thing that could make me feel at peace was that the candles smelled like Christmas. And it was just such a melancholy night. But there have been so many melancholy days. You see what I'm saying? So many days full of depression, anger, feeling like I'm sliding into an abyss, you know? And to elaborate further, I'm 30. I feel like I've been depressed since I was 20, damn near. Since that so-called recession hit and life was super hard for millennials and we couldn't get up as easily as any other generation. Felt like I was getting paid low wages. Felt like I had to fight so much, you know what I'm saying, in order to maintain. You guys don't understand how we grow up. We grow up fighting a lot. Like, I mean a lot. Like, it would be perfectly normal as a kid if you had a problem. There was no Facebook, nothing. You had to link up and fight that person in the streets for your respect, or knock on their door, they let you in, or they come out and you scrap. So many physical fights, so many abstract fights, like, you know, fighting to get up and go to this job or do this and that. I remember one Christmas, I had this girlfriend and she wanted a red coat, and I felt so bad that I couldn't even afford to buy it for her because it was $200, you know? And I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So eventually I became an entrepreneur, and the police set me up and jailed me in the desert. And there was a motion to dismiss the case. And I kept, telling the public defender, hey, I need to get my dash cam video. This cop conducted an unreasonable search and seizure, which is illegal, and he made up the traffic violation. So this whole time I'm in court, in jail, talking to the public defender, they're planning how they're going to set me up, because the day before the motion to dismiss, I get my dash cam video, the video of the alleged crime, right? I pop it in. I'm in the law library. I'm like, yeah, it's time to get up out this jam. There was, at first, listen, there's more people coming up. I don't want to look crazy. I gotta let them have fun. So I'll be quiet for a second. But, okay, so I pop the tape into the computer, and it isn't even me. So it isn't even my car. Look, people having fun. Good for them. Now, okay, so I pop the tape in, and it's not my car, and it's not me. And I got arrested with 2 co-defendants, and neither of them are there. And then the dude gets out the car, and he's a white man. And I'm like, what? Sorry, phone pause real quick. The dude gets out the car, and it's a white man. I'm like, what? And then the cop lets him go, and I'm like, what? So I hit the lawyer up, and I'm like, yo, my bad, I might have told you guys wrong. I might have said this was the day before the motion to dismiss. It was a week before the motion to dismiss. So I call the lawyer. I'm like, hey, you know they did this? Aren't we gonna be good? And he's like, no, you know it's set up, it's rigged against you. This is standard procedure out here to violate civil rights, da-da-da-da. It's Wyoming, it's a Republican state, it's remote, nobody will do nothing. So I'm like, so he's like, well, the federal government's talking about coming and getting you, you know? So either you can take the chance of going to federal court, or you can take this probation. And I'm like, probation, okay. So I take the probation. And the DA raided my house while I was out there. So I get forced to move to New York with no money. I don't even think I had a car. No car, no nothing. So I got to get up again. Now, I can't say too much after this, okay? But I feel like the world is trying me again, because what happened? I leave the streets and get a job, and I'm working 70 hours a week to put the money into my art and literature company, you know? I make books, stories, you know? Stuff that's urban themed, you know? Stuff for my people. I get a call one day, and they're like, you're terminated? And I'm like, for what? And I remember the sound in this girl's voice was so smug, like, for what? You said an inappropriate comment or something like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you wouldn't talk to a black person because they were black. And I'm like, what? That's news to me. You know what I'm saying? So a route, you see what I'm saying? A route is established, and we go down that route, and it concludes with me being terminated from a job, essentially for having this skin color. I worked at a coronavirus checkpoint, so I had the mask over my face. So that means people were looking at me and like, this is a white dude. And somebody felt some type of way, and they got me fired with the most bogus excuse ever. Something you have no defense against if you're white. You have no defense against this, and I brought this up. If you are white and you are accused of being racist, it's done. It's done. You won't get no justice anywhere. I went to the EEOC. They didn't look into it at all, even though they claim they did. They all make excuses, okay? They don't do their job. And it's completely formatted for darker skinned people to prevail over lighter skinned people, which is absolutely wrong. It should be for everybody, okay? So now that's playing with me, okay? And now I got a whole nother legal case, and I feel like they're playing with me on that. You see what I'm saying? So what do you do when you want to be an entrepreneur? You feel like your business is important. You got a few supporters. They've put money in, you know? They want you to succeed. You want to succeed. But these people are out here playing for real. What do you do? What do you do? And you were raised to do what? You were raised to do what? Retaliate. You were raised to retaliate. You see what I'm saying? They don't know how gully this shit is for real. Like they really don't. They don't know. They don't know how gully it is. Like I'm talking like, I walk into the courtroom and man, look, we'll get to this part next. I go, like I'm in a courtroom and it's literally like people in suits who have no idea what is going on out here at all. They're just trained to do that job and nothing else. They have no idea what's going on out here. So, fate is determined by these people who have no idea what's going on, do not care, have no empathy. What is that? A sociopathic component system, right? So what do you do when you are at the mercy of a sociopathic component system and they violated your rights before and you're discriminated against due to your race and skin color? What do you do? Do you lay down and let them do it? Another dude out here living life. That's good. So, what do you do when you're in a corrupt system And all the chips are stacked against you. And they always have been, by the way. They always have been. That's why I'm writing books now. And I'm going to drop those fictional autobiography books so I can explain a lot, okay? The component system was always against me and my people en masse. Like, I mean, like when you look at the sky and you gaze at the stars, they're innumerable. You see what I'm saying? And the way we were born and had to come up, the obstacles in between us and what I would deem to be a good life were innumerable as well. They were so vast and complex. And I always had to try to figure them out the best way I could while constantly being in danger. You see what I'm saying? I feel like the whole system wants to kill me. And that's honestly how I feel. Whether it's by taking my time away and aging me out until I'm tired and I can't move anymore, or whether it's by outright assassination. They'll frame me, they'll set me up, they'll do whatever they gotta do. You see what I'm saying? That job could have been my last shred of sanity. You never know. I speak to you like I'm reasonable, do I not? But you don't really know what's inside someone's mind. You get what I'm saying? That's why you're not supposed to be able to discriminate in the workforce, because it's wrong and it's dangerous. Because when you alienate someone, you never know what they might do. You really don't know. You know, you can try to pick up and say, like, you can estimate and theorize and do all this stuff. But one thing growing up, ghetto taught me is, if you underestimate a variable or a situation, it can end up really gully. And that's a whole nother type of noise. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I got shot one time and I was bleeding out and I felt like I was dying, and I was so calm about it. Everybody was like, no way you thought you were dying. You know, I was shot through the butt, the leg, and the stomach. And the more I moved, it felt like energy was flowing out of my body, but not like energy how you would normally interpret. You see what I'm saying? It was a really bad type of energy depletion. And I just knew if I did not stay alive, I would fall into an abyss, a total abyss, a complete abyss, the absence of conscious thought. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I'm a transhumanist. I believe in a post-scarcity society, and I feel like we should all be able to live forever with our consciousness, because once that death sets in and you really feel what it is, I do not think that you will like it ever. I think what you're going to experience is terror, and you may not show it on the outside, but inside your mind, when you know the darkness that is about to encapsulate your form after all the neurological processes are gone, I think you're going to be terrified, okay? Whether it's suppressed or not. Now, me, knowing that, I feel like I'm being actively killed by this component system. What do I do? No lawyer will help. No, nobody knows who to call, you know? Nobody's worried about an African American with white skin, you know? I don't fit beneath any political agenda, so expecting help from any side is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? What do you do? Do I keep running my company as best as I can and remain at the mercy of the system? Is that what I should do? What do you guys think? What should I do? What should I do? I already know I've been involved in one court case where I was given a video of someone who was not me, and somehow it was valid in the legal system, and the cops would really do that, and it was that corrupt. Now moving forward, I can't trust anything. You know what I'm saying? I can't trust no job, because again, fired for this skin color. I like my skin color. I think everybody should like their skin color. You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't be a reality, but it is. What do I do? Yet another puzzle, just like it always has been. More danger and more puzzles. More danger and more puzzles. That's what life has been the whole time. And me, I just want it to be this, you know? Walking around out here in a relatively peaceful area, and I want to build upon the sanctuary. Build upon the sanctuary. That's all I want to do. If you've ever seen me in a video anywhere, chances are the context was completely wrong, and you have no idea what was going on inside my head. None. You know what I'm saying? But you're not obligated. There's billions of people on this planet, and we are all just one. I truly believe that the component system in charge of our lives does not deem my life as valuable. And it's up to me to ascribe meaning to it. Hence the reason why I create media. But I'll ask you guys on the internet, what should I do? What do you think?